Yes, people. What's going on? It's Seagull Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the building, make sure you also subscribe. But before we go any further, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Musiala. We're going to be talking about Max Dowman. We're going to be talking about Kai Havertz. We're going to be talking about Mikel Arteta. We're going to be talking about Martin Odegaard and some more. But before we go any further, of course, we got to check out the title sponsor for today's video, none other than OK Jersey. The link should be right here, and you guys can use that QR code to get yourselves some of these beautiful, affordable Arsenal kits and many other kits across the globe. I even got a little baby kit. Let me show you. I even got a little baby kit recently, a baby Arsenal kit. Looks nice and cute. That's definitely going to be one for the little one very, very soon. But before we go any further, we got a lot to discuss, so let's get straight into it. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's chilling. Let me know where you guys are watching from in the chat. And I need to remind you guys remember the other day where we spoke about a certain former Manchester United player, Paul Scholes, and his comments? Well, good old Ian Wright clapped back at him, so we're gonna have to take a look at that also. But yeah, enough about all the introductions. Let's get straight into Arsenal's young superstar Max Dowman has agreed to to signing his new professional deal. So that is the first thing we're going to start with. That is great news to see Max Dowman sign his professional deal. I'm not surprised. I don't think anyone should be surprised. He was bound to sign the deal anyways. And of course, Per Mertesacker, one of his last little bits as one of the directors, getting Max Dowman to sign. We are pleased to announce that Max Dowman has signed a pre-contract agreement with the club, leading to him signing his first professional terms. He turned 18 in December, and Max joined our academy at the age of 8 and quickly broke records and youth level. Of course, one of Haaland's best players. He debuted in the under 18s at the age of 13, becoming the youngest UEFA Youth League scorer at the age of 14. Unbelievable records this guy has broken throughout his time. Scored 27 goals, 10 assists in 34 games in under 18 and under 21 level. This guy has played for England at youth level already. He's even broken into the first team and got some minutes in the first team recently also. So shout out to Max Dowman. We now have two of the youngest ever players to play in the Premier League, with Max Dowman and, of course, Ethan Nwaneri. Max Dowman becoming the youngest to play this season when he played against, was it Leeds or something like that? But yeah, shout out to Max Dowman. Hopefully he's one for the future that will continue to become better and better. And hopefully we keep him close to the club and he continues to improve and show levels over the next coming years, months, however long it takes for him to break into that first team at Arsenal. One second. There is something that just came to my attention. What do you mean? He's a fraud, jealous Arsenal have the best player. What's up, Ego? Yeah, Paul Scholes is definitely a fraud. Definitely. Unai Emery has told Real Madrid chief that he insists on controversial sales of key players if he takes the reins at the Bernabeu, and wants Villarreal star to replace as replacement. What? Where the hell did you guys get these reports from? Unai Emery, what? First of all, Unai Emery to Real Madrid? Since when? Since when is Unai Emery a Real Madrid target? I am shocked. Unai Emery, let's see. Unai Emery, Real Madrid. Unai Emery, Real Madrid. Interesting. So this is real. Villa fan. This is legit. Unai Emery's on the short list for Real Madrid. I can tell you guys right now for free, Unai Emery will end horribly at Real Madrid. That will end horribly. Unai Emery won't last 2 years at Real Madrid. This guy is an underdog merchant. Imagine being at the club with such high standards. He failed at Arsenal and PSG. How long do you think he'll last at Real Madrid? You got Villa fans losing. It's probably one of the best, one of the teams that no Villa fan wants to hear Unai Emery's linked with. Villarreal and James, Unai Emery's job. What do you call it? Real Madrid have him on the short list. Aston Villa, of course, are going to have to figure out what they're going to do if he does go. Real Madrid are ready to pull the trigger on a managerial change. Unai Emery's the top target if he moved this summer. Wow, Real Madrid might actually wait until the summer for Unai Emery. Fair play. If they wait until the summer, if Real Madrid to make the change this season, Unai Emery will be a top candidate. Controversy over taking place in recent days, assessing his readiness. I never thought about Unai Emery taking over the Real Madrid job. Well, it is a jump up. It is a jump up. I'm a Villa fan. It's legit crazy. How do you feel as an Aston Villa fan about Unai Emery? Personally, as a former Arsenal fan, I just don't see him working. With he couldn't control the Arsenal dressing room at the time. What makes you think he's going to control the Villarreal? What makes you think he's going to control the Real Madrid dressing room? I don't know. I think he will flop. Unai Emery doesn't have what it takes to manage a big team. I agree. I look at Unai Emery. I say to myself, "What do you? Do you guys really think Unai Emery is going to work out?" I don't know, mate. At Villarreal, 1 second. This is interesting. Unai Emery not leaving like this at Real Madrid, where you have the owners, you have the people who deal directly with the first team and the analysts, and then you have the people who deal directly with the recruitment and the football operations. So if they replace Unai Emery, you just put in another person in there. They're not gonna worry. Unai Emery learning to Spanish so he can tell Real Madrid to fuck off. I'm pretty sure Emery's Spanish. Like, what are they talking about? Learning to speak Spanish so you can say no to Real Madrid. These guys are hilarious. But yeah, I guess it's true. I don't know. I don't think it would work. That's just me. I don't think Unai Emery would work at Real Madrid. But that's a conversation for another day. Let's get into some of the major Arsenal transfer news before we go any further. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. You guys probably want to hear about Musiala and Julian Alvarez, but we'll save that for a little bit later. Next, we'll speak a little bit about a certain Oleksandr Zinchenko. Arsenal have sold Zinchenko to Ajax for guess how much? Guess how much money Arsenal got for Zinchenko? You guys are going to laugh. People in the chat, guess how much money Arsenal got for Zinchenko. I'll give you a hint. It's under 10 million. Guess how much Arsenal got for Zinchenko? Let me know in the chat. If you guys can get it right, I'll put up the comment. 5 million? No, lower. Lower than 5 million. Lower than 5 million. How much do you think it is, guys? Let me know in the chat. It's lower than 5 million. Can you believe it? Come on, guys. Bring in your guesses. Because I'm telling you, you will be shocked. Arsenal, yep, he got it. Arsenal only got 1.5 million euros for Zinchenko plus add-ons to leave Arsenal. Can you believe that? 1.5 million euros. Now, don't get me wrong. We're bad at selling players. But did Zinchenko even have any resale value? Zinchenko was on ridiculous wages at Arsenal. And in order to go to Ajax, what is Ajax's wage bill? Because at Arsenal, his contract, he was sitting on a contract that was paying him damn near, where is it? He was getting how much was he getting per week? Per week wages, he was getting, one second, let me go on Capology. What does it say? He was getting per week wages at Arsenal. 1 second. Why is this thing giving me trouble? Go to Arsenal payroll. Show me how much Zinchenko was getting. Zinchenko, who's on loan, is getting £120,000 a week, right? £120,000 a week. Now at Ajax, how much do you think they pay for their players? How much is Ajax's wage bill? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that right now. Wage bill. Ajax's wage bill. The highest wage bill on the Ajax team is currently on, what the hell? Oh, yeah. Bro, the highest paid player at Ajax is on 67K a week. That's euros. 67 euros a week. There's no chance these guys are gonna give him the kind of money that he wants. He must have renegotiated his contract somehow, because there's no way he's gonna walk in and be getting double what the highest paid player at Ajax currently gets. The highest paid player at Ajax is the Japanese international, and he's getting £67,000 a week. So I guess the main issue was we're just trying to get his wages off the wage bill. That makes sense to a certain degree. That makes sense. But yeah, we won't sell. We won sell off. We sold him off for cheap, and we get his wages. And you know what? Just to think about it, he's 29 on the 30th of December. Fair. He's 29. His birthday's today. Fair play. By the way, today's the 30th of January. This has been the quietest January transfer window of all time. Not only for Arsenal, but in general for everybody. It has been an extremely quiet January transfer window. Now, the next person we are linked to is a Real Madrid superstar in the making. I'm over-exaggerating when I say that. It's not Vinny. It's not any of those other guys. We are linked to this left back who plays for Real Madrid. His name is Victor Valdepenas, and reports came out about 15 hours ago about this guy. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this, and you guys let me know what you think in the comments. And if you know anything about him, please do give us your feedback in the comment section. Now, they're saying he's a left back. He is 19 years old. Of course, what are they saying here? Top speed. He's a fast player. And apart from ongoing strategy to secure elite talent, Arsenal are closely monitoring Real Madrid's Victor. How do you pronounce his name? Let me find out. 1 second. How do you pronounce his name?
Valdepenas.
The 19-year-old has emerged as a key target after impressing with his versatility, scouts highlights, and his ability to excel as a center back and as a left back. So here's another center back / left back hybrid. He's going to be coming in to play left back potentially if we did sign him. What does this mean for the future of a Miles Lewis-Skelly? Is he a Hincapie replacement? What is his future? Are we even going to sign Hincapie full time? Is this a legitimate target? Are we actually going to sign him? These are some of the rumors that we have around. On the 20th of January, Fabrizio Romano reported that Arsenal is monitoring his situation, revealed back in October. He's on the potential shortlist of investments. Of course, his future at Real Madrid, his future remains in Real Madrid's hands. Of course, no formal offer or anything has been made yet. You're getting all the heavy hitters speaking about the Spanish under 19 defender and saying, you know what, we might be building the future of Spain's defense with him and the likes of Mascara already in the team. You even have Hand of Arsenal tweeting about him, so that just goes to show you there's a lot of people discussing his future, and we already know he can play at center back, he can play at left back, 6'2", quite tall also, 19-year-old defender. We have to wait and see what happens here, but of course, I don't know enough about him personally to give you guys a definitive answer if I would want him or not. I might have to look more into it, maybe check out some Y Scout, but yeah, it does look like Arsenal are still trying to improve that defense more and more. And what does that mean? Does that mean Miles Skelly is going to get shifted into the midfield? We'll have to wait and see. Does that mean somebody's going to be leaving? Something's going to happen? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, this is just more and more news about around Arsenal, around the transfers and potential incomings and outgoings this window. Now, another player who there has been some outgoings, but mostly just academy level outgoings. We did sell one of our youngsters. He was sold to Grimsby, actually. This gentleman here, Maldini, was sold to League Two side Grimsby for a permanent sale, undisclosed fee. Usually, when it's an undisclosed fee, it's a quite a small fee, like like a very small fee that's not really too much to mention even in one of these posts. So that's probably why they've said that. But yeah, that is the report around that. There's also a report around Christian Norgaard's future. Let me pull that up for you guys in the comment section. Let me pull that up for you guys in the comment section right now. Christian Norgaard's future is still being spoken about. I think even Martin Odegaard's future is kind of currently being spoken about. But yeah, let's get on to Christian Norgaard. So Christian Norgaard's actually been good when he's played. I think he's been really reasonable. He's been a really good signing for his age and price. I don't think we expected him to come in and be anything like a world beater or anything like that. And I'm not saying he has. He's just been a steady Eddie, done his job to a certain degree. But reports are that Ajax are also after him. And they do view him as a potential target for Ajax. But just look at his performances. Every game that he played, putting out 7-7 as his foot mob rating. Reports coming out that, of course, Ajax are after him. This was reported. Where is it? Where's the Ajax reports? Let me find the Ajax reports. Christian Norgaard to Ajax reports are coming out left, right, and center. January, of course. Reports are, even though he even said it himself that he's happy, doesn't necessarily want to leave, but Ajax are advancing with Arsenal over talks for Christian Norgaard. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens if Christian Norgaard does leave. Subject interest is happy in North London and wants to stay at the club. But Mazu Skelly is set to stay at Arsenal during this transfer window also. So we're going to have to wait and see. Does Norgaard leave? Does Mazu Skelly get more minutes in midfield? What happens with that? It's an interesting situation. Of course, Christian Norgaard has interest from Ajax, but Arsenal wants to keep him, and he probably wants to stay also. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens in the coming days, months. Could this be a potential summer move for him to move away from the club if he does move to Ajax? That is what's being reported at this moment in time. Now, I did see something about Arsenal. There's so much about Liverpool this, Liverpool that. He called out the whole Man United team. So where is it? You know when you're looking at something, you see something, and then you're like, where'd it go? Jan Goretzka is advanced to Atletico Madrid. Crazy to think that is a possibility. Where is this? You know what? We'll get back to that in a second. Before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. We currently have about 50 of you guys on YouTube, and overall, we have about 160 of you guys watching across all platforms. So please do make sure you hit that like button wherever you're watching, and do let me know what you guys think about the topics that we're discussing. So now, so quiet as you said. Yeah, man, this has been a dead transfer window. Not the busiest at all. Before we get on to Musiala and everything else, and Arteta's press conference and all of that, Julian Alvarez is going to be discussed. But before we do that, we need to speak a little bit about Paul Scholes and what Paul Scholes said. So Paul Scholes said about the Arsenal thing the other day. Scholes, when speaking about Arsenal, he said potentially one of the worst teams to ever win the Premier League. Those were his words. He said, if Arsenal win the league, this could be potentially one of the worst teams to win the Premier League. That's what Paul Scholes said, his words. And I personally think at this point, these guys are doing more damage to their own legacy by coming out here and speaking rubbish on a regular basis like they do. Absolute nonsense that they spew on a regular basis as pundits is ridiculous. Now, I don't get it. I get it if they want to talk shit about individual players or individual performances, but to sit here and say, if Arsenal win, this could be the worst team to win the Premier League is absolutely wild to me. And good for Ian Wright to stick it back on him and get on him for his BS take. Ian Wright really got into Paul Scholes in the most recent episode of the overlap. You had Ian Wright get on to Paul Scholes. So let me show you guys what Ian Wright said to Paul Scholes by pulling it up on here right now. Where is it? Here it is. Just about 6 hours ago, this was pointed. Ian Wright fires back at the claim that if Arsenal win the league, this could be the worst team ever. Gary Neville started talking to Paul Scholes on the comments on the episode of 114 of Stick to Football. I'm not going to mention his comments that they're going to be the worst team ever if they win the title. Ian Wright responds sparingly. And then speaking about Man United teams that won with 7 if they won it, Paul Scholes more than the 77 and 75 points that you wanted. And then Scholes said, is that my mate here reading this? Wait 1 second. What the hell? They went in. I need to find this. One second. Let me find this. Let me find this and come back to you guys, because this deserves a video reaction. This deserves a video reaction, and you guys probably want to see the video reaction instead of me reading it. Where is it? Where is it? 1 second. Stick to football, right? Boom. You know when you're trying to find something, sometimes it can take a while. Sorry. Here we go. Here we go. So you know when you're trying to find something, God damn it, you can't find it. What the hell, mate? I'm gonna get it for you guys for the next. I'm gonna have it ready for you guys for the next one. But basically, Ian Wright goes in on Paul Scholes, and he basically berates him for his opinion and states that you can see right here, Man United teams that won with 7. If you win it, you win it, and more than 77, it was 75 points. You like for fuck's sake, Scholesy. I said it. That's my mate here reading it. My mate. Ooh, 1 second. What? Let me just get this AI to read this out for you guys.
Man United team that won with 7. If we win it with more than 77. It was 75 points. Like you lot won it. Like FS sake Scholesy. I said, is that my mate here reading this? It's my mate Neville replied. He's just shooting from the hip. He's just. Gunshot sounds. Scholes then clarified. I meant to say the most boring team, not the worst team. Sorry, you will be boring. It doesn't matter how you do it, does it? Doesn't matter how you do it. Wright agreed and added, I'd take boring and win. I'm very excited because I believe, yes, we do have to win it. We do have to win it. And I'm confident enough that we will do it. I'm confident.
So Paul Scholes is backtracking, and he went from saying, I did not mean to say you're the worst team, but the most boring. Interesting. The most boring team. So now he's changing his tune. Now he's saying it's the most boring team. And earlier he was saying it's the worst team. It just sounds like shit sound bites. To me, what he really means is that this team is not entertaining the neutrals. It's not entertaining the masses. And the team that wins the league needs to entertain the masses. Let me tell you something, guys. You just need to have the most points at the end of the season. You need to have the best goal difference at the end of the season if the points tally is equal. And at the end of the day, the team that wins the league, be it the most entertaining or the most boring, doesn't really matter as long as you win the league. Usually, the teams that are not as good are more entertaining because they're in shootouts. They're in games where they have to score more goals because they're conceding so many goals. Because we're so good defensively, it doesn't mean that we're boring. It might just mean that other teams know they can't score against us, so they try to defend for their life, which makes it difficult for us to try to score and open up games. I bet you any money if we're shit defensively, these guys would be calling us out for being shit defensively, even though we're entertaining. You can't win with anybody. They asked us to start winning. Now we're winning. And yes, we haven't won the major silverware, but all of a sudden we're supposed to care if we're a boring team for you guys. I don't give a shit if you guys are entertained or not. As long as we win, who gives a shit? As an Arsenal fan, I don't think any Arsenal fan will be upset if we win the league, be it playing boring or not. Right? Anyways, that is that. Let's go to the transfer news now. Enough about that. Let's get into some of the transfer news. Transfer news around Arsenal. The first bit of news that I seen is Jamal Musiala news. I don't know too much about if this is 100% accurate or not, but we are going to be speaking about it just because, of course, these are transfer rumors, and transfer rumors fly around during the transfer window. We know this, the end of the transfer window especially. So here's the rumor. Here's what's being floated about right now. Bayern Space, German source Bayern Space reported ongoing information discussing between Jamal Musiala's representatives and Arsenal. The Gunners are positioned as one of the most realistic destinations if Bayern's situation evolves quickly. Back channels, contact in place, aiming his contract. Dynamic. So to me, this screams that the player is just using Arsenal to try to get a better contract. But in the case that he cannot get a better contract from Bayern, he might actually see his opportunities elsewhere. Now, I don't think this is 100% nailed on or it's going to actually happen guaranteed. I just think right now Jamal Musiala is using Arsenal as a way to get a better contract. That is what I think it is. At this moment in time, I think he's using Arsenal for a way to get a better contract. Jamal Musiala is going to be linked to many clubs when he's in a contract situation at Bayern. I don't know when his contract runs out or what's going on with his contract situation, but he just came back from injury. I don't think it's just a situation where in the middle of the season when they're fighting for everything, we're going to be hearing so much about a player of this stature leaving or going anywhere without many different clubs also being interested in him. So right now, if I was to put my money on it, I think this contract situation that they're discussing is exactly what it is. And they're using Arsenal as a way to prop up their contract discussions and everything else. And if I was to give you the exact article, this was the exact article from Bayern Space. Jamal Musiala's contract extension talks last season included an exceptional salary adjustment to increase as each of the passing seasons, making him more and more wealthy throughout those years. And this contract runs out and is set to run out in 2030. Then you also have a situation where there's a more lucrative contract, the most lucrative contract in German history, blah, 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 blah. But then here's where the discussions come in. Worth noting, long-term Jamal Musiala's dream is to play for Barcelona, while among the Premier League, particularly Arsenal or Chelsea, is internally viewed as the most realistic destinations, as Barcelona would only be able to realistically pursue such a move later in his contract cycle, potentially January 2028, though a release clause and projected for around 125 million euros, which is 105 million pounds, approximately 100 million. In 2029, it will be 100 million euros, which is approximately 85 million pounds. So he has a buyout clause in his contract, which Arsenal, Chelsea, or Barcelona could potentially pursue later on in his career as the time goes. So in 2028, we could potentially get him for 105 million. In 2029, you could potentially get him for 85 million pounds. Will we wait that long? I don't know. One thing I do know is right now, this deal is not happening this summer. This deal is not happening next summer. They're talking about 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, potentially. And I just don't think we think that far ahead when it comes to transfers. I think if we're going to try to get something done, we're going to probably try to get it done sooner than later. But yeah, this right here just sounds like a whole lot of nothing. It just sounds like a whole lot of nothing. So Jamal Musiala to Arsenal, I just don't think that's happening right now. It's not happening. They're just chatting shit. His release clause is around 150 million right now. I don't think that's happening, mate. I don't think that's happening. Yeah, he just signed a new contract. Sorry about that. I might have been mistaken. But yeah, I don't know then. Why are they bringing all this stuff up? Why are all these things being brought up right now? All the Jamal Musiala conversations are being brought up. It just sounds very, very much like just they don't have nothing to talk about, so they're bringing it up. Julian Alvarez. I'm seeing a lot about Julian Alvarez also. Shout out Martin in the chat, man. Big up Martin. Shout out to you every time. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat talking about Julian Alvarez, people in general speaking about Julian Alvarez. So let's speak about Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez, the rumor has it that Barcelona have everything ready to complete the deal for Julian Alvarez. They're just missing the money. That's kind of the most important part. Arsenal are considering making a move for Julian Alvarez. This was being reported as Julian Alvarez, of course, wants to make a move out of Atletico Madrid. Would you like to see Arsenal sign Julian Alvarez this summer as as he looks to leave Atletico Madrid? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Would you guys like to see him right now? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. MB. One second. Let me see if I can. Let me see what we can do. So we're going to just compare. We're going to compare some of our strikers. So we have Gyökeres, right? Victor Gyökeres. We have Havertz. We have Jesus. Gabriel. Jesus. You know what? Jesus most likely going to be leaving. So I'm just going to compare these. I'm going to compare these three strikers. Julian Alvarez, Kai Havertz, and Gyökeres. So as you can see here, Julian Alvarez, duels, assists, much higher than both Victor Gyökeres and Kai Havertz. When it comes to non-penalty goals, he has more non-penalty goals than Victor Gyökeres this season, less than Kai Havertz last season. And of course, Kai Havertz has more expected goals, conversion, aerial threat, touches in the box. Kai Havertz is just much more involved in the game than both Julian Alvarez and Gyökeres over this compared to this season. But of course, that is because they've played more football. But if you just compare Victor Gyökeres to Julian Alvarez, you can see right here that non-penalty goals much higher, expected assists. Statistically, he is a better player. And of course, when you look at eye tests also, Victor Gyökeres is not as good, not as silky, not as controlled as Julian Alvarez. I think Julian Alvarez and Victor Gyökeres, I don't know how it would work. Would it be like a Jesus, Gyökeres? I don't know what's the plan with Gyökeres going long term. Would we sell him? Would we move him on? What would happen if Arsenal did bring in Julian Alvarez? Would he replace Jesus? Where would everybody in the team fit in? It is a very interesting conversation. The main thing is, of course, that Julian Alvarez is ready to return to the Premier League, and Arsenal would be willing to bring him in the summer. Atletico Madrid have been reported that they are exploring the possibility of selling him, and some people are saying it's PR, but it is coming out from people who are slightly closer to the club that work with the Daily Mail. I'm also seeing it from all sorts of reports. The thing that I seen that made me think it's not PR is I seen Gary Lineker speaking about it. So I'm just going to pull this up so you guys can see. Gary Lineker was speaking about Julian Alvarez on his podcast. And on the podcast, Gary Lineker said, Gary Lineker thinks that Julian Alvarez would be the ideal signing for Arsenal. I like Jesus. I always have. He's got great work ethic. He chases and carries and does get a few goals. He is a bit streaky. When he's on, but when he's off, he's off. A bit of a confidence player. And then he also goes on and says, probably complete BS as most of these things on social media. But I saw links with Julian Alvarez and who is not entirely happy at life at Atletico Madrid. And then now he says that sort of player can handle the big occasion. He's a World Cup winner, crying out. He's a World Cup winner, and for crying out loud. And someone like that, Arsenal would be game over. Someone like that at Arsenal, it would be game over. So he doesn't really give us anything that we don't know. He's kind of just giving us his assessment on why he thinks Julian Alvarez would be good at Arsenal. I thought he had some like inside scoop on why Julian Alvarez might be joining Arsenal. But yeah, if Julian Alvarez, it doesn't really give us any information that he has or anything. But yeah, hopefully we can see Julian Alvarez in an Arsenal kit in the summer. But right now, I'm focused on the here and now. So we're gonna just focus on the here and now. Now we're gonna shift gears to the here and now. We're gonna shift gears to Mikel Arteta's press conference and finish off this video speaking about the press conference, as that is the most important thing. Igal, you're an expert. Tell us. You know what? Hey, bro, you don't have to watch. You don't have to buy it. If you don't want it, it's not for you. It's not for you. There's a lot of people out there who don't want to spend £150 on a jersey, on a football kit, especially in this crazy market. You don't have to buy it if you don't want to buy it. Also, you don't have to be in my chat if you don't want to be in my chat. So you can go. Say, wallahi, you guys are trying to sign Julian Alvarez. Yeah, that's the reports, man. That is the report at this moment in time. Julian Alvarez is heavily linked with Arsenal. Next, let's get on to Mikel Arteta's press conference. Everything around the press conference, everything rumored around the press conference. Let's get into it. So the next thing that's being spoken about is, of course, the game versus Leeds and a little bit of a build-up to the game versus Leeds. The first thing that Mikel Arteta spoke about is, of course, the injuries and gave us an update. No injuries on Wednesday, and Saliba and Timber are okay. Obviously, they've played a lot of minutes. They've carried a few niggles and really good opportunity to uh, for us to offload them a little bit and refresh them. So Timber and Saliba will be available for the upcoming game. He spoke about Max Dowman getting a new contract. He was really happy about that. He spoke about Wednesday lifting up the player's mood a little bit. He spoke about if anyone needs a lift. He said it's normal, obviously after a defeat. I thought this one was very crucial to speak about. He spoke about Martin Odegaard's statistics, and I'm just gonna get this read out because there's a lot of conversation around Martin Odegaard in this video, in this press conference.
He's concerned about Odegaard's statistics. So those are the numbers, but we have to give the full numbers as well. He's played much less minutes than any other season as well because he's been injured 3 times. That's the reality. We want to improve that, for sure. We want him to affect the game in the area where we can win football matches. That's for sure. But you know Martin and how he works every single day. I have no doubt that that will come.
So saying he has no doubts that Martin Odegaard's stats will come. We also had another question about Martin Odegaard later on in the video, saying on Martin Odegaard dropping into a deeper role. This is what he had to say.
On Odegaard dropping into deeper roles, it's a bit of his nature, and my nature is to go to the opposite side. But we need to respect as well the qualities and the talent of players, and within that, they need to feel the freedom in attack, especially to do what they believe is best.
Really just giving us professional answers, not really giving us much information on that. And then there was one more thing about Martin Odegaard that was floating about. If I can find it, I'll show you in a second. But there was rumors about Martin Odegaard potentially heading out of the club. I've seen something around Martin Odegaard potential chat around a permanent exit. If Martin Odegaard could potentially be sold or something like that. And I'm just like, really? Martin Odegaard being sold? I don't know about that. I don't think a permanent exit for Martin Odegaard would happen. But if that did happen, or if that was brought to fruition, which club would actually purchase him? Would it be Inter? Would it be PSG? Who would actually be looking at purchasing Martin Odegaard at this moment in time? I just don't see too many suitors lining up to come and purchase Martin Odegaard. Maybe after the World Cup, maybe some people will be interested in signing him. Maybe come the end of the season, some people will be interested in signing him. But at this moment in time, he's a club captain. He's not going nowhere. And I just kind of feel like the rumors about Martin Odegaard being sold are more people just talking about their concerns about Martin Odegaard rather than the actual reality of him being sold. Next, Mikel Arteta actually spoke about Kai Havertz, and he said something about Kai Havertz actually starting games. He spoke about Kai Havertz's importance. So he said, obviously, he was ready to start the other day. It's been a long period, and now we need to manage his load and the games that we were going to select for him to start. So they're going to manage it, and he thinks it's super positive, his performance that he had in the last game. And you could see straight away that the impact that he can have on the team. So yes, he's ready. And he also spoke about helping the other strikers in the team, and with the fact that Kai Havertz can play different positions. Kai Havertz, more than any competition which I understood, we had a difficult characteristics with the 9. Interesting. But Kai can also play different positions. His main quality is he can make you better, and the way that he moves, communication, gives you information, moves around. He's a very different player to mark, a very difficult player to mark, especially as he opens up a lot of space for the rest of the players. So I think they're going to be very happy with him around. And they also spoke about the link-up play between him and Gyökeres. and then he also added in Jesus in his answer, and basically saying that obviously Kai Havertz has good link-up play, and then spoke about Norgaard, he's not going nowhere, spoke about some of the academy kids, spoke about Calafiori's importance in his return, saying that Calafiori is instrumental, especially with the way that we attack, which is so true, because Calafiori is such a unique player with his quality of finishing and ability in the final third. He was asked about Pep's mind games, and like no one really cares about that. And then that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty much it. We're going to be facing Leeds. I'm going to just give you guys my quick little predictions for the Leeds game right now. Lineup wise, if I go to the Arsenal team, I do think we change it up. Maybe Eze on the left. We try that again. Maybe we go Havertz. And instead of Jesus, we go Gyökeres. So something like this. And I think maybe Ben White's back in the team there. And Timber maybe is back in the team there. So that could be that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And that's it, really. Score prediction. If I'm going to give a prediction for the actual game, I think we win quite convincingly. I don't know about you guys. Call me crazy, but I'm looking at Leeds and I'm saying they've scored goals lately. So maybe like a 3-1 Arsenal victory. We have gone away to Ellen Road and had some close games, but we tend to win when we go away to Ellen Road. So I'm not too concerned. Hopefully we should win. Hopefully it should be a convincing win. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. That's kind of how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like we might concede, but we're definitely going to score a couple goals here and there. But yeah, Egal, you're crazy. Goal Fest 3-2. Tim, you know what? I never even thought about it. Let me know what you think in the comments, Tim. What's your 3-2 Leeds win? Nah, mate. We need this more than you. We need this more than you. Way more than you. You're unable, or is it dyslexic? Bro, I'm just dyslexic, man. I've had a learning disability my whole life. So when it comes to reading, I mix up words, and I just mix up words sometimes. It's just how it is. But yeah, Tim, let me know, man. What do you think is score prediction wise? People in the chat, let me know your score predictions right now in the comment section. Let me know your score predictions right now. I'm looking around. I'm just saying to myself, we should win. I don't know exactly how much everyone's thinking, but score predictions wise, that's what I'm going. And Leeds away is always going to be tough. Leeds away is always going to be tough, but hopefully we can get out of there with a victory and just make it as easy as we can. Because no game in the Premier League is easy, but we do need to get ourselves back in winning ways after 3 games successive where we drop points if we're trying to win this Premier League. We cannot continue to drop points if we're serious about winning this Premier League. That's all I got to say. And yeah, Arsenal, I think we start Kai Havertz. Leeds, I'm going there cautious, but we should win. 3-1 Arsenal, in my opinion. 3-2 Leeds is wild. If you're the second team to score 3 goals against us in that how many years, that would be mental. Good luck tomorrow. You'll need it. We'll catch you guys later, people. We're out of here. Love for the love. You already know what it is. Eagle Talks Football. I'm going to send you guys over across to another channel, redirecting you guys right now to Mancunian Way. And you already know what it is. Go tell them we're going to win the league, guys. Anyways, peace.